the meaning of justice can change from one day to the next. A professional soldier never brings justice into the mission. Politics are fickle. They change with the times. So long as we remain loyal to our countries, soldiers like us need nothing to believe in.
Welcome back to Character Conversions, where I try to bring fictional characters to life in D&D. Today this build is dedicated to my friend, StewPow61. In his honor, we build the legendary soldier and mercenary, Naked Snake, also known as Big Boss. For stats, we'll be using the standard array from the player's handbook. Strength will be 14, we need this for CQC and all the physical skills we excel at. Dexterity will be 15, we constantly have bullets whizzing past us and roll out of the way of explosions, on top of our skill with ranged weapons. Constitution will be 13, we take an unimaginable amount of punishment. And our mentor said we should be able to run 30 miles. We definitely have good con. Intelligence is 8 and our wisdom is 12. We are not intelligent, but it's not our strong suit, and I don't think anyone would say Big Boss is weak-willed. Finally, our charisma is 10. Big Boss is followed not because he is some great speaker or even looks the part of a valiant leader. It is his actions and ability that makes others want to follow him. For race, Jack is clearly human. We'll be going with variant human. This will increase our dexterity and constitution by 1 each to 16 and 14 respectively. For the skill, we'll be choosing medicine, to make sure we can treat our own wounds in the field. For our feat, we'll be going with Tavern Brawler. We want to be able to fight unarmed if necessary, and wield a fork as a weapon. Tavern Brawler will increase our constitution by 1 to a 15, give us proficiency with improvised weapons. Our unarmed strikes become a d4, and when we hit a creature with an unarmed strike or an improvised weapon, we can use our bonus action to grapple them. This is the beginning of our CQC. Finally, we speak Common and 1 additional language. Let's go with Elvish. Background should be obvious. We're the legendary soldier, so we will of course be going with Soldier. This gives us proficiency with athletics in the event we actually do need to run that 30 miles, and intimidation for when we need to shake someone down at gunpoint. We gain proficiency with a gaming set of our choice as well as land vehicles, and our background feature is military rank. This could be our granted code name, and if your GM is into the idea, could be why people follow us despite our average charisma. Class was tricky to decide on. Big Boss needs to be able to do so much. So for now we'll be going with Ranger. This gives us a D10 hit die, proficiency with strength and dexterity saves, and for skills we will grab nature, stealth, and survival. Finally, we're proficient with light and medium armor, shields, as well as simple and martial weapons. First level Rangers gain favored enemy, but we'll be swapping that out for favored foe from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Favored Foe makes it so that when we hit a creature with an attack, we can mark them for 1 minute and deal an additional d4 of damage the first time we deal damage to them. This requires concentration to maintain, and we can use it a number of times equal to our proficiency bonus and regain all uses on a long rest. Next we gain Natural Explorer, which we will again be trading for Deft Explorer from Tasha's Cauldron. This gives us Canny, which grants us expertise in 1 skill of our choice. You could choose Athletics to improve your CQC grappling, or Stealth for your infiltration ability. For my build, I'll choose Stealth. Next we learn an additional 2 languages. We already speak Elvish, so let's go with Dwarvish and Orc. At second level, Rangers gain a fighting style. We will choose Archery to gain a +2 to attack rolls with ranged weapons. We can smash face in melee, but we also know it's safer to take someone out from afar if we can. Next, we gain access to our spellcasting, granting us 2 first level spells. We'll pick up Cure Wounds for our rudimentary first aid skills, and Fog Cloud for the occasional smoke grenade. At third level, we choose our Ranger Conclave. As a stealth and infiltration specialist, we'll be going with Gloomstalker. This grants us Dread Ambusher, giving us a bonus to initiative equal to our wisdom modifier, as well as an additional 10 feet of movement and an additional attack on the first round of combat. If the additional attack hits, the target takes an extra 1d8 of damage. Next we gain Umbral Sight, granting us dark vision at the 60 feet. Big Boss is able to operate in darkness without too much trouble, or maybe just think of it as using night vision goggles. In addition, while in darkness, we're invisible to any creature that relies on dark vision to see us. We gain Primeval Awareness, allowing us to expend a spell slot, and for 1 minute per level of the spell slot, we can sense whether within 1 mile there are any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead. I like to think of this as calling up paramedic and asking about the area we're in. Finally, we gain an additional first level spell. We will choose Goodberry to perhaps represent some MREs. And as a Gloomstalker, we automatically gain Disguise Self for when we need to disguise ourselves as Colonel Volgan's lover. At 4th level, Ranger grants us an ability score improvement. We'll be trading it for the Crossbow Expert feat. This allows us to ignore the loading property of crossbows. Being within 5 feet of a hostile creature doesn't impose disadvantage on our ranged attack rolls, and when we use the attack action, and attack with a one-handed weapon, we can use our bonus action to attack with a hand crossbow we are holding. At 5th level, Ranger grants us extra attack. Now when we take the attack action, we can make 2 attacks instead of 1. We also gain our first 2nd level spell. We will grab Pass Without a Trace for the plus 10 bonus to stealth checks, and a representation of how skilled we are at using camouflage. And as a Gloomstalker, we gain the Rope Trick spell. At 6th level, we'll be switching over to Fighter now to better represent our training with the boss and CQC skills. Our first level Fighter gives us another fighting style, and we'll pick up Defense, giving us a +1 to AC while wearing armor. Next, we gain Second Wind, allowing us to heal 1d10 plus our Fighter level as a bonus action once per short or long rest. 7th level, and our 2nd level in Fighter grants us Action Surge. Now once per short or long rest, we can now take an additional action on our turn. At 8th level, it's time for our Martial Archetype. We will be taking Battle Master. This grants us combat superiority, giving us 4d8s of superiority die, and we learn 3 maneuvers for which we will choose Disarming Attack, Riposte, and Trip Attack to form the basis of our CQC skill set. We also gain Student of War, granting us proficiency with an artisan's tool of our choice. At 8th level, our 4th level in Fighter grants us another ability score improvement. We'll trade this for Resilient and choose Constitution. This increases our Constitution to a 16 and gives us proficiency with Constitution saves. This should help for resisting any poisonous frogs we may accidentally eat, or venom coated on a bolt shot into our leg. At 10th level, we will now be jumping over to Rogue to develop our infiltration skills. As a first level Rogue, we have a d8 hit die and proficiency with 1 skill, which we will be choosing Perception. Next, we gain expertise in 2 skills of our choice. We will choose Athletics and Perception. In addition, we gain a d6 of sneak attack to use with ranged and finesse weapons when we have advantage or an ally near our target. And finally, we gain Knowledge of Thieves' Cant. At 11th level, as a 2nd level Rogue, we gain Cunning Action, allowing us to dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action. At 12th level, and our 3rd level in Rogue, we step into the Scout archetype. This grants us Skirmisher, making it so when an enemy ends its turn within 5 feet of us, we can move up to half our speed as a reaction that doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity. Survivalist grants us expertise in the nature and survival skills. Next, we will pick up the Steady Aim optional class feature, allowing us to, as a bonus action, give ourselves advantage on our next attack roll, so long as we haven't moved this turn, and our speed is reduced to 0 until the end of the current turn. Very useful for sniper battles. And finally, our sneak attack increases to 2d6. You've probably picked up on the theme already that I'm going to the 4th level in each class to get the ability score improvement, so for level 13 we'll be continuing on into Rogue. We'll trade this bonus for the Skulker feat. This makes it so we can now hide while lightly obscured. Missing with ranged attacks doesn't reveal our position, and dim light no longer imposes disadvantage on our perception checks relying on sight. At 14th level we will turn to Ranger. As a 6th level Ranger, our favored foe damage increases to a d6, and Deft Explorer grants us Roving. Roving makes it so our base walking speed increases by 5 feet, so 35 normally and 45 on the first turn of combat. In addition, we gain a climbing speed and swimming speed equal to our walking speed. No environment is going to slow us down now. 15th level, a 7th level Gloomstalker means we gain Iron Mind. This gives us proficiency in Wisdom saving throws. So total we now have proficiency in Strength, Dex, Con, and Wisdom. We're looking pretty well rounded. Finally, we gain an additional 2nd level spell. We will pick Lesser Restoration to improve our first aid skills. As an 8th level Ranger, we gain another ability score improvement. This time we're trading it for the Sharpshooter feat. With this, attacking at long range doesn't impose disadvantage on our attack rolls. Our ranged weapons ignore half and 3/4 cover, and we can choose to take a -5 penalty on attack rolls to gain a +10 to the attack's damage, useful for taking down the father of sniping. Finally, we gain Land Stride. Now moving through non-magical difficult terrain costs us no extra movement, and we can also pass through non-magical plants without being slowed by them and without taking damage. We also have advantage on saving throws against plants that are magically created or manipulated to impede movement, such as the Entangle spell. 17th level will be Swift. It's our first 3rd level spell. We will take Conjure Barrage, as it is probably the closest we will get to a machine gun with crossbow bolts. At 18th level, we gain the final ability of Deft Explorer, Tireless. Now as an action, we can gain 1d8 plus our Wisdom modifier temporary hit points. We can do this a number of times per day equal to our proficiency bonus, and regain all uses after a long rest. In addition, we reduce our exhaustion by 1 when we complete a short rest. Our final ability this level is Hide in Plain Sight. We can spend 1 minute to camouflage ourselves, and gain a +10 bonus to stealth checks so long as we don't move or take actions. At 19th level, Gloomstalker grants us Stalker's Flurry. Now once on each of our turns when we miss with a weapon attack, we can make another weapon attack as part of the same action, so 1 free redo per round. For our 3rd level spell this level, I recommend Lightning Arrow. While obviously the most fantastical spell we have probably chosen for such a low magic level build, I recommend using this for representing Big Boss's use of heavy ordnance. At 20th level, the capstone of this build is an ability score improvement. We will actually use this one and increase our dexterity to 18. End result sees us with about 170 hit points on average. Likely wearing light or medium armor, we probably have an AC of somewhere from 15 to 16. Our hand crossbow will deal an average of 7 per bolt, 21 per round. This increases to 24 with the use of Favored Foe, 31 with Sneak Attack, and a 61 if we're using Sharpshooter. And on the first round of combat we gain an additional attack, so on average about 78 then. We have our dagger for use in melee, though maybe upgrade to a short sword if you don't mind straying too far from the inspiration. Combine it with maneuvers to replicate CQC and disarm and grapple our foes. We have expertise in 5 of our 7 proficient skills, proficiency in 4 saves, and a select few support spells to represent our varied equipment. I feel this really is a build that you could expect to see drop behind enemy lines, or infiltrating a base with the help of Disguised Self. We're pretty well rounded, though we did have to sacrifice having no ability scores at 20 to accomplish that. All in all though, I think this would be a very fun build to play. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment your opinions or suggestions for new builds. I hope all your 20s are natural, and see you next time.